Hey guys, I'm Jen George. I'm here with Alexis from Paws. Today we're going to be seeing some cute puppies at some point, I'm hoping, fingers crossed. But today we're going to be talking about two-sided marketplaces, all things startup, and kind of the journey of Paws. So I'm going to hand over to the CEO and co-founder to tell a bit about his background and how Paws kicked off. Over to you.
Hey guys. So, my name is Alexis, and I am originally from Belgium. And I said, you know what, let's go study on the other side of the world. And that's how I came to Sydney, where I was studying, and this was 4.5 years ago.
Was it the beaches that attracted you?
No, it was the kangaroos. We had
really?
this TV show in Belgium. It's called Skippy. It's a kangaroo.
We had Skippy as well,
around, you know?
Yeah.
And so, anyway, there were no Skippies in my class. Actually, I didn't see any Skippy for 2 years. But the point is, I was in a cool class full of entrepreneurial people, and I also got to travel a bit around the world. And I just got really interested by this whole thing called entrepreneurship. And my real first experience into entrepreneurship was I started a student association at the University of Sydney, which was kind of a success. And we linked with companies to get internships and jobs. And that's how I connected to one of the CEOs of Australia's larger businesses. And we started discussing the idea of Paws, right? Because we were just looking at the sharing economy over everywhere in the world, and we saw some very, very cool things happening. Uber, Airbnb, some smaller ones, some in the pet space, and we said, you know what? We think Australia is an amazing market for this, because the dog ownership, the pet ownership is the highest in the world per capita. People spend a lot of money on their pets, but more so, and that's really why we got into it, because people really, really love their animals here, and that's a great thing to see, and it's really a problem for them. What do I do with my cat, with my dog, with my rabbit when I go on holidays?
Yeah. And
so that's really the problem which we wanted to solve. And you know, I went to the dog park, I spoke to dog owners, I asked them, yo, what do you think of this idea? And they absolutely loved it. They said, whoa, if you can build a solution like that, this would revolutionize my life, because at the moment, I don't want to put my dogs in a kennel and I don't want to harass my mom anymore. So yeah, that'd be fantastic. That's awesome. Yeah, what we did then is we got a website developed, right? An absolute shitty website, spaghetti code, right? Noodle code. And look, it was honestly MVP, but we did it very, very fast in 2 months, and fast enough to really be ahead of the curve, because after we launched, 20 other competitors launched in Australia as well.
Yeah.
So we had to be very, very fast.
Yeah.
And look, so my learning from that is honestly push these things out fast. You can get some market validation, so you can get some customer testimonials and really start improving based on their feedback, because the alternative is develop for 1 year, develop for 1.5 years. And I've seen that in the startup community. And sometimes, especially in competitive markets such as this one, it sometimes says, look, it was very annoying, very painful. The 10 users which were on my site were all calling me because, you know, Alexis, this is the shittiest website ever. But I said, no worries, guys, I'll help you, I'll hold your hand. We're going to make these things happen, and we're going to make sure we find the best possible pet sitter for you.
And how many times have you actually looked after animals yourself?
Well, we do it all the time.
Yeah.
Did you see Charlie?
Yes.
We have
the cutest dog in the world, by the way.
we have a daycare center within our office that I'll show you guys later, right? Yeah. Because then at the moment we have a beautiful puppy called Charlie who wanted to dance with Jen when she walked into the office.
Who's almost as tall as me, so when we say puppy,
I know she grew super fast. Yeah. But yeah, that's what we do. Like it's very, very important for us that all of our employees know what we are offering on our website. And so we are offering daycare ourselves. So we look after a number of puppies. Guys, you should check them out. We have like little husky puppies. It's all sorts of amazing puppies, and not just puppies, great dogs as well. We actually give employee leave for pet sitting.
That's great.
Our employees can do it twice a year, 2 days leave a day extra for pet sitting pets at their homes. So
that's fantastic. Cool. It's great to really live and breathe your values and what you're trying to get out there. You know,
absolutely.
So, I mean, coming up with an MVP, right? A lot of people kind of chop and turn between, you know, do you do an app first? Do you do a website? You know, how did you make that decision about getting something out there, the spaghetti bowl of code?
Yeah. I mean, there's probably different for different businesses. I've seen very amazing mobile first, app first businesses. But for us, it was a website. And it was, the idea was, look, the technology is very important, but at the moment when we don't have much funds, we started with very little funds. It's really about getting something in the hands of the customer, and the fastest thing to do is a website, right? because in the end, when pet owners need to find the pet sitter, contact them, chat to them, and book them online and pay online, and then review them. You know, the first thing we actually did was, while the website was being developed and while I was, bouncing ideas with the developers, I never seen a line of code before, which may have added to the spaghetti code. But anyway,
lessons learned.
Yeah, lessons learned. I mean, look, again, the speed was crucial, and also thank you so much for the developers, because they followed the brief, doing it very, very fast. Yeah, and that's what we needed.
Good on.
But before that, we just launched a Weebly landing page, right, just to get signups. Mm-hmm. And so our very first pet sitter signups were from my connections from the University of Sydney, because I was the president of the Student Society. I contacted the president of the Vet Student Society. I said, "Hey, Matt, we're launching this website. It's like Airbnb for cats and dogs, and I'm sure that your vet students, right, thousands amongst this network of vet students across universities, have free time, want to earn some extra money, and absolutely love animals. Do you mind sending some emails to them?" And we did. Yep. And so our first 150 signed up pet sitters on the Weebly landing page created in 2 hours were these vet students. And we didn't pay any dollars for them, but it was a great story for investors to put in the first, $100,000. These guys are launching this website now. It's ready, but it already comes with 150 pet sitters. And by the way, it cost them $0. It cost them, Alexis $0 for acquisition. What can they do if we give them a bit of money, right? Yeah,
no, definitely. And so controlling your supply and demand for two-sided marketplaces is super hard. So obviously you went one side first. It's okay. How did you get that balance when you were first starting?
Well, so the balance is, we started at the University of Sydney, really, around this area, Ultimo, Darlington, Surrey Hills. Yep. Got a supply, got the pet sitters. And then we started getting demand here as well, with Google AdWords, which is semi-targeted, with Facebook community, Facebook groups, the dog parks, Surrey Hills Dog Park and whatnot. But then, to be honest, because textbook will tell you how business review and so on, two-sided marketplaces, what's important is liquidity. It's bringing demand and supply together in one geography, or more so, how do you achieve liquidity easy? I'll get you in view.
That's okay.
You're much more beautiful than I must have. So
stories about you, so
fine. Okay. So how do we get liquidity? What's the easiest way to get liquidity in the market? Is to geographically target. It's easier to build demand and supply in Surrey Hills than demand and supply in the whole of Australia, right? Yeah. However, so that's why we started with kind of working well. However, then 20 competitors were launching all over Australia. Let's get you in again. And we said, yeah, you know what? We're very serious about being the #1 pet sitting marketplace in Australia. That means we got to go out of Surrey Hills, even when textbook says that we should
stay suburb by suburb.
Suburb by suburb. Yep. And I was fixing the website, not fixing the website, but I was taking customer calls. Yeah, sorry, the website not working, but no worries. I'm going to help you. I had at the time like a casual employee intern, whose name was David, and I said, David, I'm fixing the website. We need to expand into everywhere in Australia. Can you please expand us everywhere in Australia? He's like, Alexis, how should I do that? I said, David, I'm just out of uni. Like, I know you are in uni, you're 19. I'm just out of uni. I've never built a pet sitting marketplace before, right?
What do we do? Yeah.
I don't know, man. You do it. You're a smart guy. Yes, I'm a smart guy. I'm going to do it, Alexis. In which city should I expand, Alexis? I said, look, David, I'm not from here, as you can judge by my accent. I'm from Belgium. You're from here. You're Australian. You tell me. I mean, not even tell me. Just go. Okay, Alex, we're going in Melbourne. We're going in Perth. We're going in Adelaide. Why Adelaide, David? Because my ex-girlfriend says there are many, many doggies in Adelaide. So, okay, no worries. Let's go in Adelaide.
Customer research done.
And what happened is... this is a bit going off your question, right? So we expanded all over Australia at this point. And how did they do it? It was, we suddenly saw Google Analytics website traffic coming through more and more and more and more. Yep. I said, whoa, David, what you doing? I said, Alex, you told me that story of how Airbnb got their first, listings of Craigslist. Apparently Airbnb sent this message to random listings on Craigslist in the United States. Craigslist like Gumtree in Australia. Yeah. Right? Hey, why don't you put your listing on Craigslist from a random email address? You have such an amazing listing and would love you to put it on, not Craigslist, but Airbnb, which is this new website, but already getting millions of views. Right? And that was working really well until Craigslist banned them, but it was too late by then because they already outgrown Craigslist. Right? There's more to that story, but this is
it's the quick version.
Yeah. And so he was doing the same thing on Gumtree and posting a few free ads for pet sitters on Gumtree, and it was completely free. They brought lots of traffic to the website and said, you know what, we're going to do nothing all day but, build, post Gumtree ads. And so both of us, and it brought tens of thousands of website traffic to a website on $0. And so that was fantastic, right? And so suddenly we expanded all over Australia. We had pet sitters all over Australia.
Great.
Right? So that was great. However, now your question is, how do you then build demand and supply when the textbook says you need to go suburb by suburb because it's easier to match demand and supply? But now we have pet sitters all over Australia
to make
waiting
sure
for
they have
jobs.
Experience, right? Yeah.
And the reality is, we kind of messed up there in the beginning because it was very challenging to get those pet sitters, their first bookings ever in Australia, because we didn't have marketing budgets everywhere in Australia.
There's only 2 of you.
So the issue which we had was the issue which we call in marketplaces the chicken and the egg problem. Which one comes first, the pet sitter or the pet owner?
Yeah.
We went everywhere for pet sitters, but they weren't getting their eggs, right? Or their pet sitting booking requests, and therefore they became disengaged.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, my numbers for the first 6 months were flat.
Yeah, but your user growth was probably up.
Exactly, my user growth was like that.
So people will get excited about having big numbers, but unless the marketplace is actually happening, people are connecting in the right suburbs, the right place, at the right time.
That's right.
It's worth nothing.
I was getting super excited because I was in the news everywhere, and my grandma was very, very proud of me. I said, "Look, Grandma,
success.
The dog walking business is working out." She said, "Oh, that's amazing, Alexis. I see you on the newspapers and so on." So I was getting really excited, and then we got all this user growth, and I was getting really excited. But then I looked into the numbers, and I saw, you know what? Our growth curve, our revenue growth curve, the thing that matters, right? Try raising money on a flat revenue growth curve. That's not working because our revenue growth curve was absolutely flat.
It wasn't a curve. it was a line.
Yeah, that's right. It was
growth line.
It was the horizon of the ocean. That was how flat it was.
Yeah.
So, and this was very much not because we're not getting the traffic, as Jen said, we're getting users, but they were just not.
There wasn't that stickiness for the business model.
Pet owners contacted the pet sitters, but the pet sitters were irresponsive because they hadn't heard from us for 3 months. It took us 3 months to get their first booking request, right? The chicken and the egg thing.
So they're inactive.
And they just didn't care anymore or forgot what Paws was. And then here's how we have overcome that problem. And I'll tell everyone who wants to build a second
two-sided
marketplace, correct? We just started picking up the phone, me and the other person in this business at the time, just started picking up the phone and start every pet owner who came to the website, we called them up immediately, said, "Hey, Josephine, thanks so much for your booking request. You know what? It's going to be a bit difficult, but that's why I'm here. That's why I'm going to make sure that you and your dog, Charlie, are going to find the most amazing pet sitter, even if it takes me all night to find one." And then we call the pet sitter and say, "Yo, this is Alexis from Paws. We need your help." "What's Paws?" Paws, the pet sitting website we signed up for 3 months ago. "Oh, and you can, earn money looking after dogs, which you love dogs according to your profile." "Oh, that's amazing. Tell me what to do. Explain what to do." And I tell you now, guys, honestly, the growth curve went like this. It was flat, right? The Bondi horizon on the ocean, absolutely flat. And then the very moment we started calling, it went like that. I swear. And this was the moment over here. And ever since, we have been calling our customers until a point that we couldn't do it anymore, because it was like a good problem to have, kind of, because there were too many customers, because growth was going very fast. And that's when we started doing automated technology to do what we were doing on the phone, to do this via automated text messages, automated emails, and so forth and so forth and so forth. And I think that DNA, how we overcome that chicken and egg problem by replacing the technology with just sales. We don't do it anymore, but it's still in our DNA, and we have a very dedicated and quite sizable customer support team, because it's so important to be close to our customers and to be close to our pet sitters.
It's fantastic. So you have a really unique culture with the mad scientists here. How did you decide kind of what your culture was going to be like, or how did that evolve?
Well, culture is an interesting one, right? It's like one of those things that when you start and it's so important to hit targets, because eventually you'll raise money off revenue numbers.
You're going to pay bills somehow, right?
Yeah, it's like when you have so many hard metrics that you need to focus on, it's like culture is like easy thing to postpone and postpone and postpone, but it shouldn't be, because honestly it makes a difference, right? And I think we started we always had it, I think, good team vibes because we're all friends in a way. But when we really started taking it to the next level and started investing in culture through team bonding activities, through really doing workshops around company values, but then also living them and communicating and then making sure they're at the forefront of mind for everyone, through little things such as the pet sitter leave I told you about, that sort of things, and just like team lunches and whatnot, cupcake baking competitions and that sort of stuff. We just took the culture to the next level, and what that does is, I think people, I hope, really like their jobs, like the people around it, go home and still think about it, right? Yes, work-life balance, but also no. I mean, I think what's important is being in the moment while you're in the moment. When you're at work, you're there. When you're at family, you're with your family. But you can still speak about your job and think about it. And while you walk to work, see a dog and get an amazing idea. And that's what happened. Like people walking excited to work and just getting an idea and walking into the office and saying, "Hey guys, you know what? I saw these 5 dogs in the park having great fun. Now we're going to organize Australia's largest ever dog party." And I think such ideas come when people really care about the business, really care about the people within the business, and just come up with amazing ideas as a result of it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So how does that culture evolve? I mean, day one startups, right? We all still are a bit ignorant and kind of figuring it out as we go.
Sure.
So how did you what was it like day one versus what is it now? What's the big difference?
I mean, I think culture really starts shaping from the moment you are a team of more than one, right? So 2 people, it's just, culture is the way that you interact with each other, right? And so the more people you add to the equation, the less it's in control of me, right? The CEO, the more it's in control of the interactions. And it gets to a point that it's just good to put company values down so that it's clear what desired behavior is and what isn't. Because we have always done cultural interviews, even when we didn't have values, which is a bit weird, but we always looked at, do these people fit within the way that we act and think and so on. We never had big issues, but I can tell you, the moment you have an issue, and it's often like a non-awareness issue, like I do something to piss people off or whatever. Not me.
Never, ever.
No, me as well, to be very honest.
No,
I've been there as well. If it's not dealt with, it absolutely deteriorates the company culture, and I think it's very crucial to have such values in place, to have open and transparent feedback sessions so that you can address problems before they arise, and to create a vibe, and I use this word, on purpose, honestly, like a vibe, something that's hanging around in the office, that people want to be there. And that people say to their friends, "It's Monday morning, I know that you don't want to go, but I want to go because I've got this amazing idea over the weekend and I can't wait to present it to the rest of the team and to hear what they're thinking about it, and to also hear how their weekends was, and to play with Charlie the puppy." Let's do it, you know?
So, I mean, as a leader, how do you keep evolving? How do you keep yourself accountable and make sure you're continually at the cutting edge of what you can be doing with the company?
Well, I think that's really important, like the whole self-development. And what is good and what I'm very lucky for is 3 things. Externally, I am very fortunate to be in a number of leadership development programs where I just, have the opportunity to speak with leaders that are just a couple of stages ahead of myself. In some cases, many stages ahead of them, and you just learn a lot because they've been through all of it. I promise you. The whole sharing hub here, us collaborating with sharing economy businesses, that's useful because
where are we? It's probably
we are in the sharing hub, guys, which is an accelerator for sharing common businesses. Actually, let's put it in human language. We sit together with all sorts of sharing common businesses, some bigger, some smaller, and we learn from each other. I learned from the air taskers of this of Australia. I maybe pass on some knowledge to some startups that are just a few stages earlier than Paws, and it's very useful for all of us. So externally, I have such networks. That's amazing. Internally, in my board, I honestly have amazing board members who started the business with myself and who have amazing experiences, and I speak to them a lot, right?
When did you think was the best time to get a board involved?
Well, we started with a board
ourselves,
but I think if you're aligned and you just really think along the same lines and you're doing it together and you're in it together, then it's better immediately. Because you just don't have all the experiences. At least I didn't, right? I just came straight out of uni. So for me, immediately was amazing. But now it's also like, when do we have external investors coming on the board and so on. I think it's good. The more perspectives, the better. But I think it just, you need to make sure that you are aligned when it comes to the vision and so on, which we are in the case with our investors, which is good.
Yeah.
To your question, self-development. Externally, such networking groups, leadership programs. Internally, my board, but also, and this is very important, I learned through open relationships with the employees.
Yeah.
Because in the end, they're the ones that are experiencing my leadership and that should get the benefits from the leadership and that feel when it's not good enough.
Yeah.
And so creating a really open and transparent flow of communication and feedback with them and myself, I think that is crucial.
Yeah.
And I'm not there 100%, right? Like, not everyone at this stage, I imagine,
We never are, right?
comes to me with their feedback, but it's something that we're consciously improving with systemizing feedback sessions. We're just, making it more of a culture to grab a coffee with someone and just ask, hey, which 3 things do you think I can improve, and so forth.
We've got Kelly here. What skills, values did you look for in a board member?
Okay, it's a very good question. I think a board member is there to bring experience you don't have, right? So which skills do I have, right? For me, now I have a bit of insights into marketing. I don't
make great graphs with golf sticks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's right. I don't know so much about financials, right? Because I'm running, in the scheme of things, I'm running a small company, whereas guys or girls women that have run bigger companies and looked at bigger P&Ls and bigger balance sheets and know cash flow effects and so on. That's an amazing skill to have, like financial management. Another skill, it's not really a skill, but another important skill for a board member is network. Like, in a business such as Paws, we're doing capital raising, and we are going to do more capital raising because we think of this as a very, very big thing. This is where networks in the board members is very, very crucial. Right? It's just another level of a Paws board member reaching out to an investor and saying, look, I completely back this. You should talk to Alexis. It's a different level than just any random person.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's cold calling.
I think decision making, right? Strategic decision making. This company grows fast. The extent of decisions that I'm making now, like the impact that they're having, is much, much bigger than it was 6 months ago. And 6 months ago, it was much, much bigger than it was a year ago. So we're just making more and more important decisions, and I really value having guys or women on the board that have dealt with such important decision making before. Absolutely.
So, situations of raising funds, what's your advice to people who haven't raised before? How to find the right people? What is the good fit?
Sure. I think
valuations, gosh, it's a whole other chestnut.
Yeah, I think this is, again, investment is where it's very useful to have someone on board or as an advisor to give you insights, because you've never done before. How are you going to know what's fair, what's not fair? Yeah, valuation is one thing, but then it comes with a whole bunch of terms that you don't necessarily immediately understand.
Yep.
And you're a lawyer, like lawyers are good, but they also make money by
considerations.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's just useful to have practical experience around you.
Yeah.
Advice for capital raising, I think first advice, everything else is much harder than capital raising, meaning build an amazing business first and it will be much easier to capital raise.
That's true.
Growth is important, right? If you're growing, that's awesome. Of course, there are other considerations. How do you acquire customers and so forth. Then just
there's a magical tool called Tammy now, you're fine.
I'm
joking, sorry.
Great. I didn't know that before. If only I knew before. Thanks, Jen.
Yes, so.
That's actually a really cool thing. We're really excited about it.
Thank you.
Build a great business. Secondly, get in front of people, okay? How many times have Airbnb been declined for investors? How many VCs they pitch for? Like 100 to get there first. Maybe these exaggerated numbers, but you get the picture. Same for Paws. Like, I have got at least 100, maybe 150, maybe 200 declines.
You gotta have thick skin.
Yeah.
And the determination to keep trying.
Yeah, you got thick skin. That's right. But more important than the thick skin, even if you go and cry in the corner all the time, is, that's basically what you're saying. Get up again and go speak to people, because it is a bit of a numbers game, right? Not because you're trying to find one dumb investor that wants to invest in your business. That's not what I mean. The point is, it's a big decision. There are other investors' opportunities around there for investors. You just gotta speak to a sizable amount of people, and that's also how you learn who can add value to my business, who can't. It's also a bit how you create a bit of interest. Like, it's also a demand and supply market, guys. Like, the more offers you have on the table, the in a better position you are.
Yeah.
So my recommendation is, when you got to be capital raising all the time, doesn't mean you need to be collecting cash in the bank all the time, but you need to be making this connection all the time. One thing I do is, people that are interested in Paws for investment or for other reasons, or just generally interested and I trust them, I send them every second month a Paws update, the same one I send to my shareholders.
Wow, that's great.
And so what it does, it just brings people on the journey. Right? And when I'm then looking for investments, and I tell them, some are interested, yeah, Alex, actually, thanks for including me for the past 12 months. Yep, I mean, or you know what, I actually know someone, I'd love to introduce
It'd be great
you.
for this, yeah.
So keep that going. I think it's really important how you pitch as well, as a third thing, right? Make sure that you keep it short and succinct, because what you really want to do in such investors meetings, when you get their time, is take the questions out of their head. And the only way to do that is to listen to their questions and answer them, rather than do a 1 hour pitch. Do a short pitch and tell me, guys, what's your questions, and then answer them. That's where you can shine. That's awesome. How I recommend it.
That's great. And being in the startup world, being an entrepreneur, there's a lot of challenges, a lot of knockbacks, a lot of no's, also a lot of wins. Hopefully anyway. How do you as a leader deal with the mental health side of things?
Yeah, it is actually a little bit, it's much more than I thought. It's much more ups and downs than I thought. And it also it actually gets more intense. The ups gets better, right?
Yeah, they get a lot higher and a lot lower.
And the downs get a lot lower as well. But the average is still net positive.
Yeah.
So look, I think how I deal with it, I honestly think this is different for everyone, but how I deal with it is, I just have two principles. One is, I'm gonna give this 100, 1000% my everything to make this work, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm also not gonna, if it doesn't for some reason, or if little battles don't work out, I'm not gonna sit home and cry about it, because you know what? It's in those failures that you have your biggest learning experiences. And at this point in my life, it's super crucial for me to make this work, and it's my 1000% commitment to make it work. But you know what's the most important thing for me in my life is that I am on a very steep growth trajectory, right? And so it's the lows that put you in an even steeper growth trajectory. And so, I can't lose. That's the thing, right? I won't lose the business, no way. Like, anyway, going way too well now. Yeah. But the point is, even when things fail, I'm not going to sit and cry about it, because you learn great things.
So do you think communication, having people going through similar situations, like running their own businesses, exercise, all those sorts of things, do you manage it through that?
Well, I really manage it through mindset, but what helped, mindset of everything's a learning experience. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. But exercising helps a lot. Having great friends you can speak about helps a lot. Having friends, in addition to other great friends within the entrepreneurship sector who are going through the same experiences and have done it before, that's great as well, because you just hear, oh, you know what, actually everyone has these problems. Not maybe these problems, but everyone has war stories, and some of them almost killed their businesses and they're still running and they're actually doing super successful now. I just think it's really good to have those conversations and be open about it. You know what I think is also good is, and this, by the way, I was recommended to me from one of those leadership programs I do by some very senior leaders that run some of Australia's biggest businesses. And they told me, Alexis, you know what's important for you to manage a team and also for yourself? It's showing vulnerability to your team.
That's true.
If you are stressed, right, don't think that it's an issue showing your stress. It's an issue not showing it and people thinking what's going on because they will see it anyway. Showing vulnerability and showing people what's up and just being transparent with your team, it takes just the weight of your shoulders. And more often than what you think may happen is that they get panicked because their leader is stressed. Yeah. They're actually very supportive and they're appreciative of being open with them. And that's what I've definitely found, and I really recommend it.
That's awesome. So for your business where you're at now, for Paws, are you guys hiring?
Yeah, we're hiring like crazy.
What are you hiring for?
We're hiring not like crazy guys. Very disciplined in our cash control. No, we are hiring for a marketing position, which is very exciting because honestly, I think, sorry to all the other startups out there, but I think the marketing of Nat was the coolest out there because
we hang out with puppies all day.
Yeah, we organize Australia's largest dog party. We organize the world's largest sharing economy. Expo, we organize Australia's Dog of the Year, you know, one winner in every state. We do super cool things, right? And so, yeah, we're looking
What's
for...
this person going to be working on?
This person is going to be working on increasing retention.
Yep.
And that's going to be with cool, creative ideas. I don't even know them. It's really up to them to come up with it. But yeah, that's marketing. Analytical, someone really analytical, but someone super creative and someone that really cares about the subject as well, right? Cares about solving people's problems when it comes to what do I do with my dog when I can't take care of them or when I rabbit or so on. That's marketing. Customer support, super crucial for us. It's an exciting team. You know, they are really our ears and eyes when it comes to understanding the customer, and they're really what makes this business work. Remember from previously, this is because of the customer support. You know what I mean? We are also looking for an absolute data person, unless maybe Jen can solve it with Tammy.
I was about to say you're offering me a job.
Someone that's just gonna put the whole business, measure the whole business to the next level. We're already really good at measuring, but it's important now to take to the next level and tell us spend money there, don't spend money there, spend money more there, because
the whole
customers have a higher lifetime value in that channel, and support. And then what else are we looking for? Oh, yeah, look, there is one other job position that I need to get my head around it. So I'll post it in the
thing after. That's awesome. Well, if people in the startup community, if they're looking for help or ideas or just a sounding board, can they reach out to you for certain things?
No, I'm too busy. So.
Nah, it's too cool for
no. Look, I have time reserved in my schedule for this, honestly. Right, I have a number of hours every week that I dedicate to this anyway, through the sharing hub or people reaching out. So yeah, reach out, absolutely.
Cool.
My email address is pretty easy to guess. It's my first name at my website.
Awesome. And I always ask this question: if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Superpower?
Besides being able to hang out with puppies all day.
We already have that.
Yeah.
Look, that's a good question. I mean, I'm really interested in psychology and people and so on, and maybe I'd like to read people's minds.
But there's no surprises.
Why? What do you mean?
Because you already know what they're thinking. So it's like, hey, what do you like, green or red? Oh wait, don't answer. I already know you like green.
Have you seen the movie What Women Want with Mel Gibson?
Yep. I still think it doesn't help.
This would solve a lot of my life issues. No, I'm joking. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time and the amazing golf stick graphs. And we're looking forward to watching Mad Paws grow. International. Are you going international? It's probably something I forgot to ask.
No, we're not.
Yep.
You know why? Because there are 8 million dogs and cats in Australia, which is more than there are teenagers here. And we are just building Australia's largest pet community. And we're very well on track to get there. And we will get there even more so. And we're just going to solve all issues for all dogs, rabbits, cats. Goldfish, snakes, and so on.
Llamas?
In Australia. And the market is big enough. Not big enough, it's massive.
It's huge.
So that's why we're sticking to Australia and New Zealand.
Very exciting. Well, thank you so much for letting us harass you in your office.
Oh, no worries. Pleasure.
Thanks very much, guys, for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on my Facebook page. Have a good afternoon. Bye.